Kunja Bihari. Jai Jashodanandana Brajo Janaranjana. Jashodanandana Brajo Janaranjana. Jashodanandana Brajo Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा कृष्ण चंद्र, राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधे। जय निताय गौरंगा, निताय गौरंगा, निताय गौरंगा। जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभाय चरण भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं, देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया, भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकीम्। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 20th chapter, text number 52. Tapasa vidyaya yukto yogena susamadhina ऋषीन् ऋषिकेशः ससर्जाभिमता प्रजा। क्या हुआ? तुम क्या कर रहे हो भाई? तपसा विद्यया युक्तो योगेन सुसमाधिना ऋषीन् ऋषिकेशः ससर्जाभिमता प्रजा। तपसा विद्यया युक्तो योगेन सुसमाधिना ऋषीन् ऋषिकेशः ससर्जाभिमता प्रजा। Word to word meaning tapasa by penance, vidyaya by worship, yuktaha being engaged, yogena by concentration of the mind and devotion, samadhina by nice meditation. In the sages, Rishihi, the first seer Brahma, Rishikeshaha, the controller of his senses, Sasarja, created, Abhimataha, beloved, Prajaha, sons. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: having equipped himself with austere penance, adoration, mental concentration, and absorption in devotion, accompanied by dispassion and having controlled his senses, Brahma, the self-born living creature, evolved great sages as his beloved sons. Please repeat the translation. Having equipped himself with austere penance, adoration, mental concentration, and absorption in devotion, accompanied by dispassion, and having controlled his senses, Brahma, the self-born living creature, evolved great sages as his beloved sons. Purport: the ritualistic performances of sacrifice are meant for material economic development. In other words, they are meant to keep the body in good condition for cultivation of spiritual knowledge. But for actual attainment of spiritual knowledge, other qualifications are needed. What is essential is vidya, or worship of the Supreme Lord. Sometimes the word yoga is used to refer to the gymnastic performances of different bodily postures which help mental concentration. Generally, the different bodily postures in the yoga system are accepted by less intelligent men to be the end of yoga. But actually, they are meant to concentrate the mind upon the super soul. After creating persons for economic development, Brahma created sages who would set the example for spiritual realization. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा शिवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. तपसा विद्यया युक्तो योगेना सुसमाधिना ऋषिकेशः ससर्जाभिमतः प्रजा. Having equipped himself with austere penance, adoration, mental concentration, and absorption in devotion, accompanied by dispassion and having controlled his senses, Brahma, the self-born living creature, evolved great sages as his beloved sons. So, further progress in the process of creation is being mentioned here by Maitreya Rishi to Vidura, and Lord Brahma now is creating the great sages. And to create great sages, it is being mentioned that Brahma performed austere penance, adoration, mental concentration, and absorption in devotion. Tapasa vidyaya yukto yogena susamadinaha. Rishin Rishir Rishikeshaha. So, if you want to achieve something higher, then this is the key. That one has to do. Primarily, first aspect is tapasa. Tapasya is the first aspect. So in this material world, everybody does tapasya in one way or the other. But the purpose of tapasya in the material world is to achieve something that is very short-lived. That achievement doesn't last. Whereas achievement, tapasya for a higher purpose, it is not to achieve something material. It is voluntarily acceptance of hardship for a higher purpose. What is that higher purpose? It is to purify one's existence and to sharpen our spiritual focus. Morning we get up at 4 o'clock, attend Mangalarti, we chant. With that, what happens? By doing that, what happens? We purify our existence and our mind, our intelligence, our consciousness is able to focus on the Lord. That is the consequences of sadhana, which is sadhana means sapasya. And voluntarily, it is not something that is somebody else is forcing us. By volunteer, our own volition, we have to do, when we do such kind of things, then we gain this kind of an achievement. And we can see in terms of tapasya how various examples there are there in our Puranas. The best example is Dhruva Maharaj, how a 5-year-old boy performed great austerities in the forest of Madhuvana, just subsisting on just leaves, water and air, nothing else. So 6 months he meditated like that on Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu appeared and blessed him. And blessed him with both material kingdom as well as spiritual perfection. Both he got. So that is the lesson. Again, Rishabdev says the same thing. Tapasa divyam, tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam shuddhayet. So, without purification, you cannot do tapasya. So, you have to do with purification penance. And when you do with purification penance, then higher spiritual realization happens. So, tapasya means what? Tapasya means we are actually melting our ego. And when we melt our ego, it awakens our divine strength. So when we surrender to Guru, when we surrender to Vaishnavas, then their instructions, their guidance becomes our life. In the material world, everybody wants to do what they want to do. That when they want to do what they want to do, that means that is their ego. When you say, I want to do this, that is clearly an attribute of one's own ego that is talking. When you say, I want to do what my Guru says I must do. I will do what my Vaishnavas are guiding me to do. That is, there is no personal interest. That is voluntarily accepting another's direction. And that is difficult. That is what is difficult. That is a challenge. We want to do what we want to do. We don't want to do what others want us to do. Okay. It is okay. We don't want to do what others want to do. But we must do what Guru, Krishna and Vaishnavas want us to do. Gopi, Bhartur, Padakamalayor, Dasa. This is the principle. Doing like that, because it is not easy, that is tapasya. And that is the essence. Whole life if we do, not only whole life, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Mama Janmani Janmani Ishware. Again and again, life after life I should do. Just like you see, morning he is doing the mic, he is doing something. I am getting angry. Hey, what you are doing, man? Now he will get irritated. Oh, Prabhu shouting at me. It is not easy to listen. So somebody, you are doing something. I will tell you, what are you doing? Hey, do like this. Ayyo, why is this fellow back behind my back? It is difficult. But it is our voluntarily acceptance. No problem. Even it is natural, because we are all conditioned souls. We will feel we are not completely pure. Our egos are there. We don't like to take instructions. But because we are trained, we set aside that feelings. Because I know, oh, he is our devotee, I can shout. But if it is somebody else new, we will not do it. Sometimes devotees feel, Prabhu, you are not shouting at him. You are telling only me. Yes, because we know you can take. We will not tell somebody who has come newly like that, right? Actually, this is the end. This is really the core of our bhakti. If you accept it, you can become very peaceful. You will become very peaceful. You will not have that craving. Otherwise, you will start feeling temple life, devotional life itself, not only temple life, devotional life itself becomes very heavy, becomes very burdensome. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, until and unless we are not humble and submissive, we cannot practice devotional service. Especially Krishna consciousness. Rituals you can do. Like here it is being said, no? Prabhupada says also in the purport. The ritualistic performances of sacrifice, you can do ritualistic sacrifices, but what will be the end result of that ritualistic sacrifices? It will be material economic development. In other words, they will be meant for keeping our body in good condition. That's all. You see this. You will find clearly it is visible. It is clearly visible. Somebody who is interested in material well-being, good house, good family, nice lifestyle, he cannot be in the temple, he cannot join the temple, he cannot perform serious devotional life at all. He will not be able to. Because he is all about himself. It is not about Guru and Krishna. He will feel suffocated. It is not possible. Devotee, actually, when a devotee comes to that platform, he takes the next big giant leap. If he is able to cross over these kind of feelings and limitations, he becomes a giant leap, like a Vamana kept a big step. He crossed off. You covered the big step you covered. Very big giant step. So, that kind of a person who has crossed that one, it's he is a blessed soul. Krishna's blessings are there. Like we say, Bhagavatam says, Harishye tad dhanam. When Krishna's blessings are there, then Krishna takes away from you your so-called status, name, fame, position, everything he takes away. That kind of a person is a blessed soul. It is not easy. Not everybody can take it. Very, very few people can take all these things. It is not easy to take it. We all agree. That's why Krishna himself says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschidyatatiste. Krishna bhakti is very rare. Getting Krishna's bhakti, getting devotee association, living in that association is not easy. It is very rare. Whereas karmi type, you will get, because karmi is reward and punishment philosophy. I do this, I get a reward. Generally, people are only hankering after so-called material rewards, to gratify their senses. But here it is saying, first aspect is tapasa. Next is vidyaya. Here it is tapasa vidyaya. And vidya means what? Vidya means knowledge. Here it is knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So just like Prahlad Maharaj, Vidyaya, he got knowledge. Even the mother's womb itself, he is hearing, intently hearing to Narada's instruction to his mother. Mother is not hearing, but the child in the womb is hearing. And that Vidyaya has driven, when he is in the association of all ignorant people around him, although all are asuras, all are after sense gratification. His father is the biggest person in this field. Yet Prahlad is clearly focused there. Why? He is full with knowledge. He is filled with knowledge. He is completely filled. He is not diverted at all. He is going there only. That's all. Constantly he is saying Shravana, Kirtana, Smarana, Vandana, Pada Sevana. In the Navavida Bhakti Marga, he is always engaged, hearing. And hearing and chanting of Lord Vishnu. So, Vidyaya Yukto. Here it is saying Tapasa Vidyaya Yukto. We are guided by superior knowledge. Mundane knowledge also is there, but we are not guided by, devotee is not guided by mundane knowledge, he is guided by superior knowledge. So that superior knowledge, when we are guided, it purifies our intelligence. So, Lord Brahma knew that superior knowledge, that my mission in life is knowing and serving the Supreme Lord. That's why he could create the sages. That's why you could create the sages also. Then it is said, Yogena Susumadina. Yogena Susumadina. Yogena Susumadina. So yoga means connection of consciousness with the Supreme Lord. Susamadhi means he is in perfect absorption. So Brahma is in Susamadhina. Lord is in perfect absorption. Brahma is in perfect absorption of the Lord. His mind is fully anchored. It's fully anchored in the Lord without distraction. Whereas we get disturbed because we are not anchored in the Lord. We are anchored in various, our own personal goals, our own personal desires. We are anchored by that. And then there is a struggle. Our personal goals, the Supreme Lord. Then there is a lot of noise. So, Krishna says, this perfect anchoring in the Lord, how we can achieve? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham madgate antaratmanaha. Of all the yogis, the greatest yogi who is one who is always meditating on my form, on me, with great devotion. Then it's saying here, Rishi Keshaha. That our senses are meant for the surface of the Supreme Sense. That is the purpose. So utilizing our senses, Ambarish was the perfect example of that. Maharaj Ambarish was a perfect example of it. Savai manaha Krishna padara vindayor vachamsi vaikunta gunanu varnane karau harer mandira marjana datau shrutim. So like this, every aspect of Maharaj Ambarish's senses were engaged in serving the Supreme Lord. It is not repression of senses. Rather, Maharaj Ambarish engaged it in the service of the senses. He engaged the senses after purifying the senses. So, just like for example, if it is there, say in the material world, if you see how, say, something very tasty is there to eat, and you have come from outside, you have gone to all kinds of dirty places, everything, your body is dirty, and if you keep in front of your eyes something very tasty, what will you do first? Generally, we have, I want to grab it. But even a little more controlled person, what he will do? He will first go and wash his hands. And then only he will take and eat. If he doesn't wash his hands, what happens? He will fall sick. Some germs, some bacteria will attack him. Similarly, Krishna is a Lord. Our senses have to be served the Lord, but our senses also has to be purified. Without purification, we start serving, then we commit so many offenses. So many offenses. Then in this verse it is being mentioned, Sasarjabi matah prajaha. Once Sasarjabi matah prajaha. So once Brahma had perfected these qualities, once all these things he perfected, qualities like austerity, tapasya, knowledge, yoga, sense control, then he could create the great sages. Who are the great sages that Brahma created? He created like Marichi, Atri, Angira, Pulastya, and so many other people. So, creation, whether of living beings or of divine creations. Just like we want to build temple, we want to establish, we want to nicely preach. Like all of us have a desire. We want to build nice temple. We want to have so many devotees. It doesn't happen just like that. You must have that purity inside you. You must have that austerity. You must have like what is being mentioned here. All these things should come. Then only you can do. Otherwise, you will do, but that again becomes material. You may have a nice building, but that building will not have the spiritual potency. So any noble activity means connected to Krishna, should incorporate within that all these things. It must internalize these divine tools. These are our divine tools. What are our divine tools? Our divine tools are, like it is said, tapasya, austerity, vidyaya, knowledge, yoga, connection. Our mind should be connected to the Lord. All these things are actually our divine tools. So, for us, all these things, when you have tapas, vidya, yoga, sense control, then they culminate into bhakti, pure devotional service. So when bhakti comes, detachment automatically manifests. So this is the way we need to work on our spiritual practice. We'll stop here if there's any question, comments. When Brahma came, nothing was there. Still he meditated. Today, just imagine your situation. You have a temple, you have a sadhana system, you have prasadam, you have a roof to live, you have a gadi, yet you are saying, I am not able to do devotional service. So supposing I put you like Brahma, put you into a dark well, which is better? Huh? Then why are you saying that Brahma had no distractions? We have distractions. Supposing I put you inside one dark well, no air, no water. In fact, it is being mentioned, Brahma was very despondent. He's saying, where have you put me into this place? Why have you put me? If you read Bhagavatam, earlier verses we have read, Brahma is very despondent. He's saying, where have you put me? You put me in nowhere place. Supposing I put you into Mongolia. Nobody is better. I put you into that Thar desert. Will we be able to practice Krishna consciousness? No distraction there. Like Prabhupada says, like we say, Kriteya dhyayato Vishnum tretaya mejato makai. So live, go into the forest. How many of us will be able to take up Krishna consciousness living in the forest? We will not be able to live one day. Because we want all these things, that is why we can at least take mala and do japa. So actually, that is why, in one sense, it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. It is really Mahaprabhu's mercy that fallen, conditioned souls like this have got the opportunity to practice the highest level of devotional life. That just by chanting Krishna's name, we can overcome everything in spite of all these limitations of this Kali Yuga. So it is incomparable. It is completely wrong assessment to say that Brahma did not have distractions, whereas we have so much distractions. Brahma's condition, Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Chandra Shri Shintai Gauranga Ki. Brahma's conditions was much more worst condition than what we have. It is not, we will be in a very miserable situation if we are in the situation what Brahma was. Nowhere would we be, we would have just allowed ourselves to die. We don't even want to remember anything. Let me get away from this place. Somehow I have landed here. I need to just run away from here. I cannot run away. So let me die. That's all. We would have allowed ourselves to die. We would not have done tapasya in those kind of situations. We would fail miserably. His conditions was far more severe than the conditions that we are. We are having so much more facilities to engage in devotional service, yet we are distracted. That mind will be in such disturbed state. We will be in so disturbed state, we cannot even think. One day we go out of the temple and try, when we are touring, how disturbed we become. No prasadam, no kirtan, no proper japa. Our mind becomes so disturbed. So what to speak where nobody is there? You have to be so elevated that all those external conditions will not disturb me from my focus in the Supreme Lord. So we are nowhere near that. Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.